Hey everybody, I'm back after being gone for a super long time.
Hey, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
And I'm gonna overview my new character rig. It's kind of the same as the last tutorial from way back, but it also has bone rotation, which makes it even more flexible for posing. But before I start the tutorial, I'm going to show you what I mean. So the character that I have here, if I go to my bone layer, you can see that I can rotate the arms and legs just as usual, and I can even grab the base of the bones and move them out. They're still connected, but it allows for more precise positioning of the arms and legs, so I can just move them wherever I want. So let me pose this character a little bit. I'll move his legs out a little. I'm gonna go ahead and change his feet to face outward. I haven't created a smart bone action yet, but it's pretty easy enough to just kind of turn them to the side. They're just brown lumps anyway. Just go ahead and grab some points, turn them, just so it looks like the feet are kind of facing outward, like that. And also, if you'll notice, this is something I'm working on. If you guys are interested in it, just let me know. The hands themselves are not going to be individually drawn pictures. If I click into my hands, you can see they're rigged in the exact same way that I'm going to show you for the arms and legs. Each one of the fingers has, oops, undo that. If I grab the bone layer of the hand, each finger can be posed in any way and rotated in any way. And I'll cycle through some of the hands that I've made. So right now they look really weird, but that's just the base layer, or the layer 0, frame 0 I should say. But if I cycle through some of my hands, let me bend this thumb out, you can see these are all made with the same exact artwork. I've just changed the positions of the bones.
Wow.
So I'm planning on making a whole bunch of, maybe 100 poses, so I can just cycle through whatever hands I need and then animate them in between, because this allows you to do in-betweening with them. But I'll leave that pose like that. I'll grab this hand and turn this as well. Oops. Keep grabbing the artwork. Grab the bone layer. Pose this one as well. This thumb is not in the right position. So here's our character kind of standing forward. But what's cool about this now is, now that it has rotation and pin bones controlling the joints, I can make my character a different height. If I want to grab the pin bones and say, oh, his legs are too short, I can just grab these and make them longer to any size. I can foreshorten the arms. So if I grab this pin bone here, I can put this up, turn his hand around. And actually, I'll even go and do kind of a pose for you guys. Let me undo a couple things. So let's say this is position 1. I'll go forward in the timeline, and I'll do a Control A. And that's going to select all of the bones, and then Control F. That's going to freeze frame them all. So that's our first position. And by the way, if you don't know or haven't seen my earlier video, this is based on a YouTuber animator named MOHO Sensen, MOHO33. And I watched a video of hers, like I said in the old video, of arm rigging and doing foreshortening, but I didn't understand it, so I had to make my own version. But check out her version on her channel. Link is in the description. She's an amazing artist and a better animator, and probably a better tutorial maker than I am.
It's true.
I just wish I knew Chinese because I couldn't understand all the things she was doing, but she's really great. But let's go to the next frame. Let's just go to frame 30. I'm going to hit B and then click on the canvas just to deselect everything. I'm just going to make a really quick crouching animation by just hitting T grabbing my waist bone, moving my character down, and then I'm going to turn on onion skins, which is this button right here. And you can see right now I already have that turned on to the first freeze frame. And now I'm just going to grab my knee joints and then put them kind of out here, and then grab the foot bone and position the foot in the same place of the first freeze frame. And then do the same over here. Grab the foot bone, kind of place it in the same thing. And in just a couple seconds, let me turn off onion skinning. I've just made my character crouch. Forward facing, which is pretty cool. And I can do the same thing. Let's go ahead and, since I freeze framed, I'll go ahead and move my characters. I can either use the rotation bone to rotate, or I can foreshorten. Put my hand, or character's hands in front of him. If I really want to, I have artwork on the sleeves, so let me click on that. I'm going to, on frame 30, I'm just going to grab the sleeve. I'm going to, grab this. See how I have a bottom and top of the sleeve? Just make that opening and select the artwork here. I'm going to move the sleeve up so it looks like it's moving upward. And then I'll grab my elbow bone and foreshorten that so it looks like it's moving forward. Oh, and it's blocking it, but this is my own patch. The reason I use my own patch instead of MOHO's is because I don't want it covering up other parts of the arm, just the top of the sleeve. So I can just animate this and move this kind of patch up, because it's actually connected to the body bone. So there we go. But the sleeve started animating before on frame 0. I don't want it to start till here, so let's go down. Let's grab these keyframes from frame 0. I'm going to copy and then paste at 12, which is the first keyframe. There we go. So you can see now that the arm looks like it's going forward. And let's see. Again, I can move this around. I just have to animate the, or move the patch out of the way. See how it's blocking it right there? But I can do that. I can do the same thing here. Let's go ahead and go to frame 30. Oops. Accidentally made that on 29. So I'm going to do the same thing for this arm. Right click Alt to pick what layer you want to work on. Oh, I wish somebody would have told me that too, by the way. Did you guys know that if you right click on your artwork and hold Alt, it just switches to whichever layer you click on?
Well, duh.
Which is mind-blowing to me because I didn't know, and I use MOHO a lot. I usually have to click this button first. But yeah, very nice shortcut, so I don't even have to look. So let me change the sleeve shape. I'll hit T, grab those 3 points down there and grab the top point of the sleeve, and then kind of hit T and move it upward. So it's foreshortening the sleeve. And again, we'll go to the keyframes of the sleeve. Oh, let's go ahead and move that patch also. Hit T. Let's grab that point and just move it. There we go. And then we'll grab the keyframes from frame 0. Copy and paste to 12 so it doesn't start moving until his arm starts moving. And let's go ahead and grab those foreshortening bones, they're rotation bones, and then just move this up like this, turn the hand around. There's a patch that I made for the wrist as well, for these hands, so that's why that is appearing there. See it But see, you can kind of put the hand anywhere you want, and it's really easy to. Oh, I didn't want his hand to turn that way. let's rotate it the other way. No, grab that, rotate it that way. There we go. But you can see what. Hopefully, you guys can see that this would be kind of a useful thing to use with foreshortening and rotation. And what you can also do is, I actually don't even have all these bones showing when I'm animating. I'll go ahead and hit B. I'm going to select all the arm and leg bones, and then while I'm holding shift down, go over the just the rotation bones again, like this. Oops, I still want to see the hip bone, and then hit shy bone to hide those, because that's all you really need are the rotation bones. That controls everything. If I go here and then you know, have them stand back up, I can grab these bones and let's use that onion skinning again so we can see where he's. Dang it, I keep missing the. Okay. Move him over like this so he kind of stands up on one leg. So he crouches, then he can stand back up. And yeah, like I said, you only need these rotation bones because you can actually either move them by grabbing the base or rotating them, which is, I think is pretty cool. And I'm going to show you really quick right now on how to make those. Okay, let's go over making the arms or legs or fingers using pin bones and rotation. So I'm going to start off by creating a new vector layer, and we're just going to call it arm. For this tutorial, I'll hit Control G to bring up the grid. The grid's really important for lining up your bones and your artwork at the beginning, and you can change it afterwards. But I'm going to hit S, which is create shape, which is right here, or draw shape, and we'll draw a shape that's 4 units wide. Hit A to add points, and I'm going to add a point in the center here and drag it up a couple of units. Do the same for the bottom, drag it down so we get this kind of diamond shape. I'll hit G to grab the points, and I'm going to left click and drag over those, and then I'll hit C to curve them out so we get this kind of pill shape. Left click and drag to the right, and then I'll hit T, and I'm going to click on the artwork so I grab all of the points and copy and paste. So Command C, Command V, move that down, and you want to move it down to where they overlap and create a circle. This is just important for when we're putting the bones onto the artwork, or binding them actually. So that's all the artwork you actually need for now. We'll go ahead and add a bone layer. We'll call this arm bone. And make sure you drag and drop your artwork into the bone layer. And then click the bone layer so you have that selected so we can add bones, and I'll hit A. And don't worry about the parenting right now. We'll go ahead and break it and reparent everything. But we need to put a pin bone in the shoulder right here. Put a pin bone right here where the elbow is going to be, and one down here where the wrist is going to be. Then the angle bones, we'll go ahead and drag and drop to the left to make an angle bone over here at the wrist. We'll do the same thing at the elbow and the same thing at the shoulder. And then we need target bones. So starting from the pin bones, go ahead and draw a bone pointing downwards towards the elbow. One from the elbow to the shoulder, going back up. One from the elbow pointing down to the wrist, and one from the wrist going back up to the elbow. So it should look just like this. Take a moment to make sure you have all of these bones. And if I hit Control A, it's going to select all of the bones, and I'll hit P so you can see the parenting. All of that's messed up. We don't want that. So with everything selected, click on the canvas, and that breaks everything. Then I'm going to hit B again, and then click on the canvas so nothing is selected. So let's start parenting the bones in the proper order. If you need to rewatch this, go ahead. It's kind of tricky, but I'll show you what you need to do. First, start off with the pin bones. So hit B, select the top pin bone in the shoulder. We're going to hit P and parent it to the angle bone. Just like that, and we'll do the same thing with the elbow. Make sure you click on the pin bone and hit P. Target the angle bone, and the same thing for the bottom. At the wrist, hit P and parent it to the ankle bone there. Now we need to parent these target bones to the pin bone. So hit P. Oh, I'm sorry, B, and select nothing, and then hit B, select this target bone, and it needs to connect to the pin bone, so hit P, and see how it's pointing towards the pin bone. Got to do the same with these. Hit B, select this bone, make it point to the pin bone. Sometimes it can be tricky, you might hit the wrong one, you might click this, but go ahead and make sure that it's pointing to the pin bone, not the other one, but right there. Hit B, select this, hit P, and pin bone, and then the very bottom, hit B, select the bone, hit P, and parent to the wrist. Alright, so now we need to also target each other. Ooh, I broke that. Let's click back, make sure it's pointing there, hit B, click on the canvas so nothing's selected. So this bone right here, this target bone, actually needs to be targeted. Even though it's parented up here, we need to target this one. So this one always needs to be facing this one needs to be facing this bone. So targeting is just a little bit different. It's just one more button press. So we'll click on it and we'll go ahead and hit P like we're going to parent it, but we don't want to break this parenting, we want to target. So hold down, after hitting P, hold down Control and click on this bone. And you'll notice this right here, this will turn into a target. We'll do the same thing for this bone, hit B, click on this, hit P, and then make sure you're holding Control and click on this bone and this becomes a target. And then hit B, click on this bone, hit P, and then hold down Control again, and we want to target this bone down at the bottom. And you'll notice when I click on it while holding Control, this turns into a target. Hit B again, select this bone and hit P, and then hold down Control and click on this bone. You're not going to see the target again. Well, it kind of made it a little darker if you were really paying attention and looking close. But now they're all parented correctly. But now we need to bind the artwork. So let's go ahead and select all the bones, Control A. Let's turn the strength down too, because we're not using strength for bones. Left click and drag to the left. And I'm gonna click on the arm, and I'll hit T, and I'm just moving the, clicking on the artwork on the top part and moving it over because it's gonna be easier to parent. So all you need to do is parent the binding points to the targets. So I'm gonna hit B and select this target bone right here, and then I'll hit G and then select these top points and hit bind points, and you'll know that it's correct if the bone and the 3 points are the same color. So they're all lime green. That's correct. We'll hit B, select this bone, grab these points on the bottom, oops, hit B, hit G, select those points and bind points. They turn turquoise, which is the same color as this bone, so that's bound correctly. Hit B, select this bone here and hit G and select these points. This is why I moved the artwork over, because I didn't want to accidentally select these points over on this one. So we have this one. We'll go ahead and bind the points here. Bind points. They turn dark blue. So that is correct. And then hit B. Select this bone, hit G, and select these points and bind those points. Now you can see everything is bound correctly. Take a second to pause on this so you can make sure that everything's bound correctly. The top bones the target bone is lime green. These points are lime green, turquoise, turquoise, blue, blue, and purple, purple, or violet, or whatever that is. Everything looks like it's bound correctly, so I'll hit T, click on this artwork, and just move it back into place right there. So let's go ahead and go to frame 1 and test it out. So if I click here, I'm going to click on the bone layer. Make sure you're on frame 1, otherwise it won't work. And hit T. I'm going to grab the base of this angle bone. So I'm going to grab it, and I just want to make sure that when I'm pulling it, let's hit Control G and turn the grid off for a second. This is what you want it to look like. So no matter where I pull it, these bones are pointing towards each other and these bones are pointing towards each other. So the foreshortening is working. And let's see. That looks good. This looks good. But these rotation bones aren't working yet. And this is a really simple thing that we can fix. And you just go back to frame 0, and it's just a couple of parenting clicks for it to work. Hit B, select the bottom angle bone, hit P, parent it upwards towards this angle bone, hit B, select this one and hit P, and parent it to the top one. So the way that this is parented now, if we go to frame 1, you delete that animation we made. Now let's try this. So if I do the same thing and grab this base, now this is working, but this is moving the whole bottom arm. And that's because we have it parented. So now we can rotate the elbow and the shoulder and the wrist if we had hands. Like if on my character here, it'd be able to turn the hands, but we don't have anything there yet. And now we have a rig that can rotate and foreshorten. Oops. And that's about it. We can adjust the artwork to make it look better. This doesn't look like an arm yet, but let's go back here for a second. I'm going to go ahead and hit Q. All right, let's select the arm and select that, and we'll change it to a skin tone. And let's go ahead and hide the edges up here on the bottom part of the arm. So that looks a little better. And then if you want to adjust the artwork, just remember to keep everything centered. And what I mean by that is, like, if you want to make the wrist or the elbow a different size, make sure you grab all 4 points with the circle still being there and hit T, and then holding Alt down, you can shrink it down to whatever size you want. So it looks a little bit more like a leg or an arm or a finger. We'll do the same for the bottom. I'm gonna hit T, and since it doesn't have a top point, it's gonna offset a little bit, so hold down Alt, shrink it down, and then because it didn't have that top point, it's moving down a little bit, so go ahead and grab it and just align those side points with your pin bow, so it's right about there. And then you can do the same for the top. Hit G, hit T, hold down Alt and resize it a little bit, and then make sure you move down horizontally to align to the pin bone. So it's a little bit better shaped, and you can mess around with it. And also, once you've resized that, you can go ahead and hit T and grab this point here. Oops, undo that. Grab this point and bring it down. So that way when you're animating in the timeline, that overlap doesn't show up. And there it is. That's the basic concept for rotating and foreshortening for limbs. Like I said, that's the same exact thing that I use for these fingers. If I go in here real quick, obviously it's a lot more, but you grab the bones here. So it's the same principle. All of these fingers are free floating, but they all have angle bones. So you can pose your fingers, and then you can grab the base and resize them as well, which makes it really easy to make new hand positions. So I can just do something like this really fast. And yeah, it's really cool. I'll make another video on that if you guys want, if anybody asks. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.